Okay, so on today's video, we are with Katie Rodriguez. Katie became a realtor in Florida. Katie, show them your certifications. What are these?
This is my license as a state of Florida. I have it folded because it shows my address, and I have my luxury membership.
Okay, so how much did it cost to get your license as a realtor in Florida?
With MLS fees and stuff like that, it was like 1,100, I think, 600 for the MLS, and I think 500 or something.
Okay,
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
How much was it for the luxury certification?
The class cost $600,
Okay, and then we also got you a computer,
which was like almost $2,000.
and then we got you another computer.
Yeah.
Okay, so in total, we have invested about $10,000 into you being a realtor in Florida.
Yes.
And you recently had your license, what do they call it, suspended?
Yes. My license is inactive. I didn't renew my MLS for this year. It's usually due, you get the bill around April, and then it's due sometime in May, and I went through the due date, and
You're inactive.
I'm inactive.
Okay, so let's cut to the chase. We spent $10,000 getting you a real estate license in the state of Florida.
Yes.
You got your license. It took you, how long did it take for you to study to get this?
I think I studied a year and a half or more.
Okay, you take your state test.
Yes.
And what happened when you took your state test?
When I went to take the state test, I passed it the first time.
Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of these little bimbo, blonde hair, high heel wearing realtors, when they take their state test, they fail. Some people fail it 5 times, some people fail it 7 times. You pass your state test on the first round.
Yes.
You have 140,000 people who follow you on social media. Whose idea was it for you to become a realtor?
Are the people who follow us on YouTube?
So they convinced you that you were better than being a YouTuber and that you should focus on being a realtor because of your following in Florida.
Yes.
And did any of those people buy a house from you?
Nobody ended up buying.
Okay, so you had your license active for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in that year, have you had people reach out to you?
Yes, I have. I've had quite a few people reach out to me. They ended up not buying for whatever reason, and some of them were not ready or planning within the next few years.
Basically, a lot of people wasted their time that they weren't ready to buy.
Yes.
There's no nice way of putting that. They weren't ready to buy it, but they made you think they were ready to buy it. You invested a lot of time and effort dealing with a bunch of people that were not going to buy. And that's normal for real estate agents in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're $10,000 negative into this real estate thing,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing has actually came about from it.
Yeah.
We made the decision. Okay, let's backtrack to the last time we renewed your real estate license.
That wasn't a renewal. It wasn't MLS. It was my association dues, my local association, the state association.
How much is that in Sarasota?
I think it was like $600 to renew my memberships.
Okay, so we paid $600 to renew your membership in the Sarasota MLS. And at that time,
it's just associations. The MLS is separate because it's a separate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we pay like $650. I can't remember the amount.
Yeah.
To pay for your whatever the association.
So it's like $1,100-$1,200 a year.
Right. Now, last time we renewed it, we were literally broke.
Yeah.
We had zero money.
We were dealing with doctor's visits and whatnot, and we ended up putting it on a credit card, and
we still haven't paid it back.
We still haven't paid it back.
So I used my credit card, which is our safety network, our last safety network, my credit card to pay the association fees for the Sarasota thing. When I paid that, you were crying, you were depressed. You told me that you were just. Tell them about the shenanigans you went through to convince me to renew it.
I was upset. I mean, I was going through a lot at the time, and I felt really bad. And in that time, you were so bad, and I was like focusing. I felt guilty going anywhere. Like I felt guilty if I had to go to the store. I was feeling really bad, and all I wanted to do was take care of us.
So, with a credit card, I renewed your association, and you promised me that this time around you were going to chase the clouds and you were going to make things happen.
Yeah.
You might have been on the internet for 3 days, and then you forgot about it, and 6 months later, here's another, what is it? Let's do now your
MLS.
Now your MLS is due again or whatever, and it's another $650, and I feel like I gave you the investment.
Mm-hmm.
I invested the money. I let you sit around for a whole entire year studying. Once you had made a sale, I felt like you had failed. You cried and threw a tantrum. I paid for that.
And this time, I feel like I want to walk away.
Because I'm not willing to keep paying.
I don't want to keep paying for something that's not working. Well, and I know it's not working.
Let's understand why it's not working. Mm-hmm. Why isn't it working?
I probably didn't work hard enough. I was dealing with other things at the time, but I should have been focusing on that as well.
So you weren't trying hard enough?
Yeah, like I should have been making more content. I should have been trying to reach more people. And I've been weighing this all inside my head of like, not just why it failed and whatnot, and what I did wrong, but also do I want to continue going forward? And I don't feel like it's something I want to continue doing. I feel like with a lot of jobs, like I don't want to put up with stuff. I have told people I no longer want to work with them.
Okay, but you realize that eventually, okay, so
yeah.
Right now, okay, you are working a part-time job right now.
Yeah.
And they pay you like $13 an hour or something like that?
Yeah.
So, for you to pay your MLS, you would have to work this part-time job for how many hours? Right.
A lot.
So, when it's me paying for
yeah.
it, when I'm the one paying the license, and I got $10,000 into this, you go.
We.
No, me, because it's my YouTube channel. We got $10,000 into this. Now you work for $13 an hour, so you realize, I have to work 100 hours to come up with this kind of money. Not even 100, 1,000.
Yeah. No.
You have to work 8,000, a crap load, whatever.
Yeah, like a whole month or.
No, you don't make $10,000 in a month.
Yeah.
You work an entire year, 20 hours a week, roughly.
Yeah. It doesn't add up, and I feel like it's taken away instead of added because. Our original plan was to move around every year, but then we realized we couldn't do that with the real estate, and I feel like it held our YouTube back, and it held us back from traveling as much. It held us back from moving around like we want to with this YouTube channel. So I felt like it was taking away, and it wasn't adding back enough.
Where's your phone?
Over there?
In the other room?
Yeah.
All right, so tell them about what you didn't like about being a realtor.
I didn't like that I had the videos that I was making with it. I felt like it wasn't me. I thought I could do it okay. I was doing well enough with the videos, but it just didn't feel like me. I'm not, I don't like showing that level of professionalism all the time. I like joking around, I have fun. And it just didn't feel like me or authentic, or just, it felt uncomfortable.
10,000 divided by 13 is 1,000 hours. What I thought I said.
Yeah.
1,000 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to clean bathrooms or flip chicken burgers for 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
To come up. Think about that now, okay? Because you're walking away from what I feel like when I give you everything,
Yeah.
you don't really appreciate the value of how much is invested in you. Okay, listen. At the pay rate that you're getting on your part-time job right now,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to work over 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
You know what? 1,000 hours cleaning floors, flipping burgers, whatever you do for minimum wage.
It's a year. Yeah.
1,000 hours
Mm-hmm.
of that.
Yeah.
That's how much I put into you for you to be a realtor, and you didn't even try it.
I felt like I was trying, but I wasn't trying hard enough. And honestly, I'm not the person who's going to, entertain. Jose and I will not entertain certain things where, I probably could have made the money, but I wasn't willing to compromise myself in that way. Where if I feel like something isn't adding up, I'll just walk away.
You don't have the option. Do you think people that if you had worked 1,000 hours at your part-time job and saved every penny of it,
Yep.
and then you'd still have to work for all your daily necessities,
Yep.
would you, if it had been your own sweat and your own work, have walked away from it that easily?
No.
So how do you think I feel about the fact that you had this opportunity to be a realtor? I gave you all the investment resources, and you practically didn't do anything with it.
Upset?
Yeah. Like, I put a lot in you.
I know.
Now, there's an aspect of you have 140,000 people that follow you online. So I know for a fact that there are people who are watching today's video and have been aware that you got your real estate license,
Yes.
bought properties in this MLS that you live in,
Yes.
watched our videos for information.
Mm-hmm.
What did they go ahead and do?
I think they went with other realtors instead of coming and talking to me.
So a problem that I think we had with our YouTube channel is that people mine our YouTube channel for information. They watch our videos, watch your videos,
Mm-hmm.
make their decision based off of our honest videos, but then, and we're not just talking buyers, there's also sellers that are leaving this area
Yes.
that are watching our videos to get information either about moving here or moving from here somewhere else, but they didn't even have the courtesy, despite the fact that we're the ones that provided them with the information, didn't have the courtesy to be the ones using you as a realtor, because I know how much viewership we have in this area.
Yes. And I've also seen comments where, oh, I just bought my house here. And I've seen like 50 where I'm
I
a
bought
realtor
my house
here.
here.
You've been watching my channel, but yet you didn't choose to call me.
Right. I see these comments all the time. Hey, we've been watching your videos for years. We just bought a house in Sarasota. Really? You have been watching our videos for a year, know that you're a realtor,
Mm-hmm.
and then use somebody else to buy the house?
Yep.
So, dude, that hurts. And I said this earlier on one of our live streams. I said screw the audience infinitely for lack of not using vulgarity to describe a situation where we are the ones that you use for information to move here, and then you still use somebody else.
Yeah. I see it all the time.
I see it all the time too. People that say, well, I just bought a house in Sarasota. Your videos were so great in helping us make this decision. And what the crap do we get for it?
Mm-hmm.
When you know Katie's a realtor, we got all this invested into Katie. And Katie, tell them who convinced me to invest in that real estate license.
You guys.
Yeah. Was it your idea to be a realtor?
No,
Was it my idea to be a realtor?
no.
Whose idea was it that you get a real estate license?
You guys, the subscribers.
Yeah. So they egg us on about how she should just be doing something great with her life. Dude, Katie has had 100
Yeah.
opportunities to do anything with her life, and she chooses to do nothing. And I can't, like I tell her all the time, Katie, I can't fight this battle for you.
Mhm.
You're the one who has to fight these battles. But who, at the end of the day, whose idea was it for you to get that license?
The subscribers.
Yeah.
And I see stupid comments too, like, oh, I should just like walk away and just like, what is wrong with you? Like, walk away from my life, and I'm not going to do that.
So I know we agreed to not renew any of this stuff,
Yeah,
but I still have my doubts
yeah.
whether I'm going to renew it or not, because I feel that, okay, let's talk about this, and this is something, why do you think that they know that you have the information,
Mhm.
you have the knowledge, nobody has more knowledge on this area than we do,
Mhm.
nobody's explored, traveled, known all the good neighborhoods, nobody has more knowledge of Southwest Florida. If somebody says that they have more knowledge of Southwest Florida than we do, let them come meet me so I can slap them in the face for lying.
Mhm.
Why, despite the fact that you are clearly the source of information they're using to make their decisions, they don't use you?
It baffles me every day because
Okay, it doesn't
yeah.
baffle anybody else. We know what the
Yeah.
answer. We know the real answer. It doesn't baffle
Yeah.
anybody. What is the real reason that people are not using you?
Because I'm a new realtor.
No, that's not the reason they're not using you. You really don't know the reason they're not using you.
What's the reason?
You don't know? Everybody else knows. When people think about a realtor, what do they want from that realtor? What do they, and this is absolutely the stupidest thing.
The way I look.
Okay.
The way I look doesn't appeal to you. The thing that beauty is only skin deep, but idiocracy can fill even the most beautiful looking person.
So they use these little bimbos, and when we lived in Alabama, we used one of these little bimbo realtors. Okay, the blonde hair, the Mercedes Benz, the high heels for showing up in high heels. You remember the realtor we used in Alabama?
Oh,
She came to you, little bimbo. She came to our showing, a house that's on a mountain, up on a hill, wearing high heels, to take pictures of a house that's in the country.
mm-hmm.
Okay, we used a little millennial bimbo when we sold our house in Alabama. How did that experience go?
They tried to steal the house from us. Let's see.
She
They
was-
broke things during the inspection, but she failed to
okay,
show
the
up.
The buyer
Yeah.
was her friend.
Yep, buyer was her friend. They tried to use a friend for the repairs and
Our
whatever.
lawyer discovered that
Yeah.
the repair person was actually a family member of
I
the buyer.
I figured everything out.
Right, but the lawyer told us,
Yeah.
the lawyer that we hired told us that there was a conflict of interest between
Yep.
Our realtor, the buyer, and the inspectors, and basically
Yep.
they were all in on it together to scam us out of our house. Basically.
Yeah.
They were trying to say, after they signed the contract, that there was a bunch of things wrong with the property, and the people that were looking, of course, these are dumb hicks in Alabama, so there's nowhere more scamming and fraudulent than where we live in South Florida. I mean, South Florida is the capital of scam. So for these dumb hicks in Alabama, to think that they were going to scam us out of a house
No.
wasn't going to happen. We got every dollar. In fact, we got more money at the end than
Yep.
original. So for these dumb hicks in Alabama to think that they were going to scam us from South Florida, bless their heart. But anyways, we have used many realtors. We've used Nancy Brown in Naples, which is one of the most
Yeah,
skilled realtors.
we had our place on the market for a few years in Naples. It was one of those deals where it was a cash only
You
deal.
remember the realtor,
So
the
yeah.
guy in the BMW that sold our house and bought from us?
Yep.
Okay, so you have sold houses.
Yeah.
That house that you sold to the guy in the BMW, I don't remember his
It
name.
was unsellable.
First of all,
Pop-
Nancy Brown is one of the most seasoned realtors in Naples, Florida, one of the most expensive real estate markets in America. Nancy Brown couldn't sell the house in Naples. Who sold the house in Naples?
We did.
We did ourselves. Not me, not we. Who sold the house?
Me.
Katie, you sold a house in Naples that Nancy Brown couldn't sell.
Yep.
Okay, you as a first sale by owner sold a house that Nancy Brown couldn't sell.
Mhm.
And boy, does she have contacts, investors,
Yep.
and real estate knowledge. When we bought the house in Alabama, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like a redneck dude.
Yeah.
We dealt with him. When we bought the lot in Lehigh,
Yeah.
when we sold the lot in Lehigh,
Mhm.
you've been in 6 real estate transactions. First of all, how many realtors out there do you think have actually bought and sold a house that they own already?
Not even half of them.
Not even half of them, very few.
Probably not even a quarter.
Now, you have bought and sold houses that you personally own,
Yes.
outright.
Yes.
No mortgage, nothing.
Everything I've ever owned, I've owned outright.
Right. So, out of all the realtors we've ever used for 6, 7, I don't know how many real estate transactions we've been in, which one is the worst realtor you ever used?
The one in Alabama.
The little bimbo blonde girl. But when people think about what they want a realtor to be, what do people look for in a realtor?
High heels, skinny,
Blonde and a BMW.
blonde, BMW.
And you did that. You used that realtor when we were in Alabama
And that was the worst mistake I ever
ever made in real estate.
did. Mhm.
Now, some of the best realtors we've ever dealt with. Do you remember the lady that sold our lot in Lehigh? I don't remember her name. What was the lady's name?
I think it was Jill or something.
Jill.
Yeah.
Jill. Do you remember? And she was an older, normal-looking lady.
Yeah.
No high heels, nothing. And she was possibly, that was probably the best real estate transaction we ever had.
Yeah. I will say, the one thing about me is you will never find me in high heels.
Yeah.
You never find me in high heels.
Right. But
Yeah.
then at the case, the real reason why people did not use you
Mhm.
is because of your weight.
Yep.
Now, that has zero
Yeah.
real life application in a real estate transaction.
Yeah.
What is a realtor's job after all?
To help you find your home and go with you and, do all the paperwork, get you to where you need to go within title company and just arrange the sale.
Arranging a sale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the process of arranging a sale, how does a pair of high heels and a bimbo come into play?
It doesn't. It shouldn't. The thing is, what is a high heel going to do for you? Nothing.
At the end of the day, Katie, the real reason, and I don't know if nobody's had the courage to tell you, but the real reason that nobody's used you, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people,
Yeah.
several people that, are family and friends and stuff, and the real reason that nobody's used you as a realtor
Is my weight.
is your weight. Which is interesting because,
I'll tell you this, even if I were to lose the weight and be very skinny, you would never catch me in high heels.
right, but there's another aspect of all this, and it is really that when people buy real estate, there's something about the process of buying real estate that people look at all the wrong things.
Are you going to a fashion show or are you trying to buy real estate?
Okay, let's talk about customers that know they can't afford something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you have a person that comes up to you like, well, we got a $500,000 budget, and you show them $500,000 houses, and then
You can't just show them that. You have to have proof that they can actually afford it.
right, but let's say they show you the proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen this with several people you worked with, where they come in talking about they want to live in the most top end neighborhoods, and then you show them a $500,000 house. Then they say, well, this is something more affordable. Well, next thing you know, you're showing them houses in the ghetto, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. You put the pause on me. We'll get to that. We'll get to the pause. They start off looking at houses in gated, expensive communities,
Yep.
wasting days of your life,
Yep.
showing them 30 houses in gated communities, and at the end of the day, then they're like, well, we can only afford $300,000 really.
Yeah. They don't like what they can get.
But then they waste your time
Yep.
making you look at things that they know they can't afford.
Yep.
And I was a salesperson too. I sold sheds.
Yeah.
And a customer would come in and be like, well, I want this $1 million house shed.
Mm-hmm.
I want the biggest one you got. You know, they would come in trying to impress a salesperson. They would waste your time, and then when they leave, they would buy like a 5x8 shed, the cheapest one we had.
Yeah.
You have people that for some reason or another, they feel that they have to impress the realtor with,
You don't have to impress me. Yeah.
yeah. But you have a lot of people that do come up, because I've seen it with like 3 or 4 people you've worked
Yeah.
with, where they're, if they're buyers, what they want to get isn't what they can afford.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't tell you up front, hey, I'm only in the 300,000s.
Yeah.
They tell you they're in the 500,000s, and they make you waste all this time only to then say, well, actually, we can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
If they're a seller, then it's the other way around. They want to get $600,000 for a house that now isn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about how buyers can kind of waste a lot of your time instead of being straightforward about their actual necessities.
Well, sometimes they just don't realize what they actually need. They'll start off with more than they want, and they realize that they're not going to get that.
I think they do it for attention.
Yeah.
They feel like if I come in here and I only start looking at $300,000 houses, then this realtor's not gonna want to mess with me.
Yeah. Thing is, I don't care. Like, I don't care what your budget is. I'll help you either
This
way.
certificate was for luxury homes.
Yeah.
How much? Just put it up again. How much is a luxury home worth in this metropolitan area?
About $1 million
So you took a class
on selling homes
on
and,
selling homes that are $1 million.
and helping people buy those homes.
Unfortunately, the people that are buying $1 million houses
Mm-hmm.
are going to mine you for information, but then use a little bimbo to go represent them.
Yep.
They might feel that you going up to represent them is going to make them look weak or stupid, because they
Yeah.
feel the perception on the other end of, okay, here's this overweight little young girl representing me. They feel like that is going to make their presentation look weak to the other party.
No.
What is it? I mean, that's really the problem you got.
Yeah. Like, they think I'm just going to be weak and whatnot in some kind of transaction. No.
Okay, so then the other thing they suggested is, why doesn't Jose get his real estate license?
Jose has no interest in being a realtor.
And Jose probably couldn't pass.
He might not pass the
I
test.
probably wouldn't pass the test.
I think if you studied with it, you could. But at the same time, it's like you may not pass it the first time. But I think he could pass it.
I don't think I would pass it.
You passed the GED. I do think
Did you see how much I struggled with it?
I understand that, but with that type of thing, I think you could pass it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You put the pause on me for something.
Yeah.
Here's another problem. talk about ethics and what they represent in real estate. Break it down.
Well, technically, if you are a member of NAR, you should have ethics.
Technically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
The thing is, I do have personal ethics, and I do try to adhere to standards of that.
It's all BS.
But it's a facade. So at the same time, it's like I may feel more ethical. Everything ethical may not be moral, and everything moral may not be
The problem is
ethical.
that you want to do everything by paperwork.
Yeah.
You want to do everything textbook.
Mhm.
You, Katie, want to do everything textbook. Like, even if I said something, you're trying to stop me. Oh, that's against the rules. You're not even a realtor right now. Your license is suspended, and you're still trying to implement ethical laws on my YouTube video. See, that's the problem
Yeah.
with, and I hate to say this, but most realtors are unethical, complete scumbags, and here you are trying to uphold some code of ethics that you know is flawed. You had a realtor in Cape Coral, Florida, when you were going to buy a house in Cape Coral, when we moved back from Alabama. We hired a realtor, and this realtor in text messages said specific racist comments,
Yeah.
and we went and we hired a lawyer.
Yeah.
We paid a lawyer, and what was the result of that?
The result was you can't really do
If you
anything.
think about it. So here, the National Realtors Association wants to portray to new realtors like yourself that there's all these ethics they have to live by. But when a buyer gets a lawyer and tries to sue somebody who clearly, with evidence, violated those ethical laws, what happens, Katie?
Nothing.
Nothing. So if you already know that when a realtor violated those laws of ethics and you had evidence to prove it,
Yeah.
you hired a lawyer and the lawyer wasn't able to do anything about
Yeah.
it, why are you still trying to uphold all these ethics when you know that they're not enforceable?
Because I am.
You are a sheep among wolves, dude.
I know.
You are literally a sheep. You know, to be a realtor, and there's no nice way of putting this, you have to be a wolf. You have to be
Yeah.
a predator and a wolf and a scumbag and a cheating, lying,
And I'm not
deceiving piece of crap.
I'm not gonna be a scumbag.
You know?
The
You are a
people,
sheep
they
among
want me
wolves.
to be some scumbag, and I'm just not that, and I will never be a scumbag.
Right. I mean, I have seen young realtors, and I'll be honest, you probably know who I'm talking about. I worked for one realtor in Naples, very nice young lady, by the way. She looked identical to you, except for she wasn't overweight. If you were skinny, you would look better than her all day long. Okay? She was absolutely killing it with real estate.
Mm-hmm.
This girl was selling $1 million houses every single week. She was killing it. She would hire me to clean out her property. Do you remember what was in the bags we brought home?
All good stuff.
What type of things we're getting?
We're getting like brand new everything. Like,
Okay. In one trip,
mm-hmm.
we found clothes with
tags on
them,
it.
never
Yeah.
worn, that came up to over $10,000.
Yep.
Okay? Now, the size of the clothes fit one of my female cousins, and I gave her all the clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, as a gift. But we're talking dresses that were $700, shirts that were $300, jeans
Yeah.
that were $800. This young realtor was making incredible bank, and she was using most of that money in the most outrageous fashion ever. Now, let's suppose right now you were making $200,000 a year in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
How would you spend the money?
Okay, so I'm making $200,000 a year. What I would probably do is
Travel.
save, travel.
Travel. You wouldn't say, stop lying.
I would travel.
Travel.
I would travel to every orca destination you could have.
And this is probably why people don't want to buy a house from
Yeah,
you.
I know.
They just see like you as a dumb hick with low education and overweight, and they draw a conclusion.
Yeah.
And this is a society problem. I feel like we live in a society where people are so judgmental. They don't
Yeah.
want to admit it. Now, of course, with business transactions, you do have to use, a logical perception of I'm not going to hire a moron. Even when we hire realtors,
Yeah.
but when I hire a realtor, I ask myself, does this person first look like a scumbag, scamming piece of crap? If they look like that,
Yeah.
they're not getting the job. Do they look like they're honest?
Mhm.
Do they look like they're knowledgeable? Are they experienced? All those things play a role.
Mhm.
But I think at no point I have looked at a realtor and said, okay, I don't like the demographical aspect of this person,
Never.
and said, okay, I'm not going to hire this realtor because they're black or they're a redneck or anything along those lines.
Mhm.
But clearly the problem that you're having, Katie, is that people see a fat, overweight, kind of retarded looking hick, and they assume that because of that, you're not able to sell them a house.
That's completely false. I could sell you a house today, be able to competently do all the work on that.
I think the redneck realtor that sold us a house in Alabama,
Mhm.
I think he steered us. He did.
Yeah.
But I do feel like even though he was unethical in steering us, I do feel that he was professional
Mhm.
and that he was very competent.
I'll say this, I like the house that we moved into more than I would have enjoyed that house. And I think he knew that.
Right. So he wasn't ethical, according to in our National Rifle Association. You're probably
He thought, you know what, the house that we were looking at was really high on what we could actually afford, and the one that we ended up buying was a lot less, and it gave us a wiggle room that was probably what we needed.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how much I enjoyed living in that house.
Yeah, the problem wasn't the house.
The problem wasn't the house. I love the house. If I could have the house here in Florida, I'd have it in Florida every single day, or in Michigan or everywhere else. Like, I looked at a picture of the house today and realized how much I love that house and everything that I did to it. And I realized if I got another house, I don't know if I could love it as much as I love that house.
So that realtor, while he was professional,
Yes, he was.
was he ethical? Probably not.
Probably not.
But he accomplished his job.
Mhm.
Now, this guy was a complete redneck.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he was like orange-haired F-350. This guy was a complete redneck.
Yeah.
Did that prevent him from being a good realtor?
No.
In fact, he even bent the rules in your favor as a buyer. Wouldn't you say he did?
Yes. I ended up loving that house so much.
So he bent the rules to protect you as a buyer.
Yes.
So he looked out for your interest. Most people, when they see this redneck realtor, what would they probably think?
They'd probably walk away.
Yeah. Anyways, what actually makes a realtor be good? What do you think makes a realtor good?
That they can competently get you through a transaction, they can assist you with what you need, and help you throughout the process and understand the process and understand the feelings that you may be feeling as a buyer or a seller.
Okay. What are some of the things that realtors do that you think are wrong?
They focus more on their appearance than on the actual customer. They will put up with people even when they probably should walk away.
Why would you say that?
Like, I hear realtors talking about how they talk to a client at 3 a.m.
Anyways, when you're a realtor, there's no real
Yeah,
time of yours, but
yeah.
well, after all, even before you were a realtor, what was your YouTube channel accomplishing to begin with?
Helping people move to Florida,
Or
wherever they wanted to go.
right. So, is there any aspect of what's going on here that we really haven't touched on? I mean, overall, you became a realtor. You never sold a single house in that time period.
Mm-mm.
You helped a lot of people who never bought. A lot of people wasted your time. Also, I mean, when you're a realtor, your phone number, your address is now on the internet.
Oh my gosh, I have dealt with like the weirdest stuff in the last year. I'll tell you this, if I continue to discontinue my license, I will be changing my phone number, because the amount of crap that I have dealt with in the last year is going to, like, I don't want to see it anymore. People have like offered to be my therapist. I've had some like strange offers, and I'm just like, go away, buddy.
Yeah, basically, because you're a YouTuber on the internet, people have disrespected the ability to contact you.
Yeah, like people have like sent me like weird pictures of themselves, and like I've had to block so many people where I'm just like, no. I'll get like someone called because they like keep trying to call me so they can go vacation with us, and I'm just like, no.
Right. So being an online celebrity like you are, and also being accessible to the public has came with some complications, and we knew that this would happen.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be somebody that has so much time on their hands because they don't have a life, that then they go out there and try to like bother people like you that are just trying to make it. And I feel like by you, not that we've had incidents because we take precautions and we're careful,
Yeah.
but you know, you're a realtor, your phone number's on the internet.
Yeah.
I
And I don't answer every phone call. I will usually, if you're really interested, I'll let it go to
You don't have
voicemail.
to let it go to voicemail, yeah. That's
Be-
the way we operate, yeah.
Yeah, because I find if I answer the phone that I'll get like a weird, it might not be the type of phone call that I want.
Basically, you have a lot of online haters,
Mm-hmm.
and they are doing everything they can to harass you.
Yes.
Okay, every single day we have people that message us threats, that I've seen you somewhere, or I know that this is where you eat every morning, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
I can say I'm not even sure I want to stay in this area, that I might want to move, because people are just stupid.
right. Well, I mean, the problem that we have, and like, so you're a realtor, so anybody that wants to use your business can reach out to you.
Yeah.
I did Uber driving at night. So it's not, we do live streams in the city we live in. So it's
Yeah.
not like we decided that with our online presence, we're not going to let people scare us, intimidate us.
Yes.
While in Alabama, we had somebody who went and published our address on the internet.
And I spent the whole day trying to remove our address from the internet, and I spent 5 days
And
doing
those
that.
people are
Yeah.
still, just 2 days ago, still messaging us. So
Yeah.
me and Katie decided that, if people are going to think that we're afraid of people knowing where we are,
Yeah.
and they're going to try to use that to harass us, then we have to make ourselves available.
Yep.
Our phone numbers we're on the internet.
Mhm.
We don't hide, we live stream.
Yeah.
The place where we live isn't a secret.
Yeah.
So now we've decided that, because a lot of these people that harass you on the internet
Yeah.
are nothing more than people who, in
They-
real life, if they saw you in real life,
Yeah.
wouldn't dare bother you.
Yeah.
You know, but then you've had this kind of online harassment that's been going on because of the YouTube channel.
Mhm.
So I want people to know this because I don't think people understand this. Okay. Any other thoughts on? Go ahead.
I'll tell you this. I really enjoy living where we're at. And I did enjoy meeting with the clients that I met with. And, you know, it's not that I didn't enjoy parts of being a realtor.
As we're speaking, I accidentally clicked on this. You got a realtor sending you. You're all realtor, and you got realtors sending you stuff.
That's been happening that's probably realtor.com.
Yeah, but you do have realtors that message you daily.
Yeah, yeah, because it's something that we signed up for a long time ago.
Right, but like even like I'm not interested in buying houses, and I
Yeah.
got realtors that are constantly sending us like.
Yeah.
So is it possible that in the future you could continue being a realtor? Like,
Yeah, I'm open to it.
The brokerage that you went with, do you want to mention it or not? I mean, they know
I'm
who it is.
not gonna talk about
All right,
that.
but
I
they know
don't.
who it is.
Yeah.
I remember one day we were when they suspended your MLS for the first time or it was due.
It had nothing to do with suspension or anything like that. It was
something
the
else due.
association due. They wanted to either put me on referrals or inactivate my license.
Okay, and I remember the phone call because I heard
Yeah.
it. And I told you, Katie, when you first joined that brokerage, you came home one day and they're like, Connie, we're a family, real estate family. We're like a real estate family they look out for. And I told you, what did I tell you?
The first sign of anything, they're gonna drop you.
Yeah. And they tell you that you're a family and we look out for our realtors and we help our realtors when they're going through hard times.
No, my family was going through the worst of times and they tried to kick me out.
Right. And
Instead of helping me, they pushed me out.
right. And I also remember when they called you, there was something due and we hadn't paid it yet, right?
Yeah.
And I saw when the girl called you, she was borderline disrespectful.
Yeah.
She was like, well, if you're not going to pay this, then you're gonna have your license suspended, and Katie was like literally almost in tears, and I told her, I said, Katie, hang up on her. I said, this lady, these people, when they are trying to get you to sign up for their brokerage, they tell you it's a family and we're gonna help you.
But when you go through real crap, like my husband was pretty much in a walker, and I didn't know if he was gonna be able to walk or anything like that. And you're putting that thing on me, it made me really mad.
Yeah. But basically, the brokerage you're with right now,
Yeah.
bro, they've been so disrespectful.
I might be trying to find another brokerage in the future.
Yeah. And you have a lot of brokers that have come up to you. First of all, their fees are extraordinarily excessive. The
Yeah.
ones you're with right now. And you've had other brokers approach you a lot.
With no fees.
With no fees or stuff like that. I mean, the brokerage fees are insane. When you sign up, they tell you they're a family and this and that. But in reality,
you're on your own.
I saw how they were treating you on the phone when they called you and asking for that money.
This time they didn't even call me.
No, they're not. But I remember how they called you the first time, and we were, they were disrespectful.
Yeah.
They were like belittling you, disrespecting you. And I told Katie, I said, this isn't going to work.
No.
These people are not they're not even respectful. And what's crazy is like, I have friends that are realtors, family members that are realtor, and I've seen them go without paying the MLS. I've got friends that are realtors, I've seen them going without their MLS when they couldn't afford it, and their brokerage kind of, worked with them. They made it work somehow.
Yeah.
But these people that you're with right now, the only thing they actually care about is just milking you, really.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the brokerage is pimping you, really. Like, they're just getting every dollar out of you they can. And I don't even see that they're providing you, like, I really thought because they had a prestigious name
Mm.
that they would be respectful, but they didn't even give you the respect of, you know, a respectful phone call. Hey, we've noticed you haven't paid your, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need any help or what's going on?
No one
it's
offers
like,
to
hey,
help you.
You know, we're going to suspend your license. It's nasty.
So be it.
Yeah.
So be it.
So what happens now if, so your license is suspended right now, right?
Yeah, I'm not practicing real estate right now.
So now that you're not practicing real estate, I'm gonna punch you upside your head if you get crazy, if you do a little hand motion like that. After paying $10,000 and watching you not sell a house, and then you're like, hey, my life is this, but that's just like, punch you. Yeah, she's wearing glasses because she's got a black eye. Okay.
There ain't no black eye here.
All right. So, anyways, your license is right now technically suspended.
He's got it on a light thing, and the light is very bright, and I can't wear my regular glasses. Yeah.
They know that. They know that because that's how every blogger shows up on the internet, wearing glasses.
Yeah.
So your license is technically suspended.
Apparently, it looks active on the internet, but what can I do?
Yeah. Maybe they're just telling you that to scare you into paying. I'm not sure.
Probably. Wouldn't
Because
doubt
I've
it.
seen other realtors in your situation,
Yeah.
and the broker literally came to the realtor's house.
Yeah.
The actual person came to the person's house
Mhm.
and explained to them, okay, you know, we can hold your license for this long for this reason. But like I've seen them actually break down the situation, explain to the realtor what's going on, and try to
I
help
doubt
them.
that's gonna happen here.
No, they don't care about you.
They don't give a crap
You
about
had
me.
another realtor, and I looked her up, and she's legit.
Mm-hmm.
You had another realtor recently come up, and she seems like she's really moving houses out here. And I'm pretty sure you should call her. She emailed my email. You can reach out to her.
Yeah.
And see if we can get you another brokerage. The problem would be right now. It's really turning into a money pit. No,
Yeah.
not giving you excuses, but the market has changed.
Yes. The market, the market is moving in a different direction. Where a few years ago during COVID, we were dealing with a seller's market. Now we're moving into a more neutral to buyer's market, and we'll see what happens. I mean, things can change in an instant. Like when we saw during the pandemic, and people were like crazy to find housing and whatnot. So, yeah.
I almost want to show them what I made in May,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's none of their business.
It's not anyone's
It's
business.
not anybody's business. There's also been a rumor going around on our YouTube channel that we're practically broke. I make a lot of money on YouTube.
Yeah, but
I mean, obviously you live in Lakewood Ranch.
we live in Lakewood Ranch. I will say
That's
this.
self-explanatory.
I'll say this. It has been difficult during the last few months with your injury, and we'll be getting back to our regular life here soon.
Yeah, I've been improving a little bit lately.
Yeah.
I was in a walker for what? How long was I in the walker for?
Oh my gosh, you were in the walker for like 3-4 months.
At least.
For like December to like.
I was in a walker for a while, and I should have been on a walker.
You probably 3 months.
And I probably should have been on a walker a month before that, but I refused to do it. You had to sneak. You had to sneak to the store and get it behind.
Yeah,
the bar.
I told him I was going to the gym to work out, which I was working out a lot, which he bought. I ended up working out later in the day, but I told him I was going to the gym to work out, and I bought him a walker.
Because I refused to.
Yeah, because he refused to get it. He's like, I don't want to spend the money. Do you have it up here, or is it downstairs?
It's downstairs. And here's the other problem too with the walker.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one day
Yeah.
you had to carry it, and you were embarrassed to be seen. You were just carrying it for me. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a psychological.
It broke me because I kept seeing you in this walker, and to carry it myself, and
It feels embarrassing.
because of my weight, people think it's mine and whatnot, and I'm fully capable of walking. I'm fully capable of doing a lot of things that people don't even give me credit for. I remember showing houses, and I had seen comments about she wouldn't be able to climb the stairs. I was climbing stairs, no problems. I would climb a lot of stairs showing the model homes and whatnot, and you know, the fact that people thought I couldn't climb stairs, that is completely idiotic, or be on a second floor. Completely false. I was able to do all of that without a problem.
But lately, your health, I mean, you're not going to get the details, but your health has lately been.
It's been struggling.
It's been a struggle. And I don't even think they understand. And when they're not going to know because it's private.
Yeah.
How much we actually struggle with your health. And that it's just, people think it's easy. People think it's easy. Like,
I'm not dealing with mobility issues, I'll say that. I'm dealing with things that are
related to your health, your weight.
Related to my weight, where
there's times where we don't even know if you're gonna make it. I'll be honest, there's times when I look at you and I'm like, wow, I don't think you're gonna get past this one.
I'll get through it.
You know?
And honestly, a lot of this stuff, you know,
me getting sick and getting hurt right after you got your license,
made it very difficult.
Impossible.
Because I kept focused, like, I wouldn't focus on real estate because I felt guilty. I felt guilty because all I wanted to do was focus on my energy, all my energy on my husband to make him well.
It's been difficult. We both have dealt with health problems. We both have dealt with a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
We don't know if you're going to renew your license. You might renew it.
It's my renewal isn't up until next year. The actual renewal of the state license isn't up until next year. While I still have to do my continuing education, but that's not a big deal. It's just a class.
So in theory, you could stay with your license suspended for how long before it's a problem?
I'm not sure. But I'll probably either, cancel it or whatever, or find another brokerage.
Yeah.
Or
if
just pay it. Yeah.
About that was more personal,
I would probably go with them.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I mean,
we have to address the core issue though that you just, and I did too, to be honest. We just simply assumed that because we had this giant internet following that people would support us, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And like, our YouTube channel makes a lot of money when we're both working together.
Yeah.
To the point where like
I feel like the real estate hasn't helped our YouTube. I feel like it's hurt our YouTube.
Hurt because now you got all these ethics regulations
and
that
we
you have, like let's say if I'm like, we're doing a video in a city and I want to say this neighborhood's a crap hole, then you're like, well, I can't be in the video because you're talking about a neighborhood, and as a realtor that can make me look bad and this and that, and then like I feel like that has like put a filter on our content creating.
And I feel like it's put a filter on me, and I'm trying to eliminate that filter as much as possible. I feel like I need to work on that. And I mean, I miss like a lot of the things that we used to do. I felt like we weren't going on as many trips as we needed to last year. And I feel like we stayed here another year
because of the real estate.
Because of the real estate.
We could have left Florida, gone on another adventure.
Yeah.
And I think the real estate is tied to, it's like a rock tied to our foot keeping us in Florida.
And I think that's part of my reasoning why I think I need to walk away from it. I feel like, we need this new adventure, and part of our channel is exploring and learning from those experiences, and I feel like it's keeping us from those experiences.
Okay, so we got a minute to sum it up. What would you sum up this video by saying?
It hasn't worked the way I wanted to, but I feel like the next adventure is going to be the best.
Would you be a realtor again? If you're ever a realtor again, are you actually going to put effort into it? Because I do feel like you have lacked effort.
Yes, I will put more effort in it.
Didn't you say that last time?
Yeah.
And you didn't?
I did. I actually put in a lot more effort.
For like a week?
No, I put in effort for like a few months.
Oh, come on. Okay, Katie.
It just didn't work out.
Yeah. when we lived in Alabama, we noticed that people in like kind of country and rural settings
Mhm.
were more likely to kind of treat you better.
Yeah.
Like when we were in Alabama, you notice that people like in rural, and we've traveled a lot too, right?
Yeah.
In rural settings, people are more likely to kind of
I'll say this: if I go to Walmart in Alabama, no one's gonna
make fun of you.
make
or
fun of
whatever.
me.
Here you have a lot of yuppies.
Yeah.
And I'm starting not to like this about Sarasota.
Yeah.
I did the Uber thing. I'm starting to realize that there's a lot of these like yuppie young kids here, and I just don't
Yeah.
like them. Like,
I'll tell you this. I used to go to Walmart in Naples at night, and
there's always somebody bullying you.
there's somebody bullying me, and I went to Walmart, and like you had some kid that he didn't seem like he seemed very out of place, and he was trying to do that to me. The rednecks said, "You better get the crap out of here."
Yeah. So we have a problem where like, again, we live in a really messed up world.
Yeah.
Here in Sarasota, we have a lot of yuppies,
Mhm.
and those types of people, they ostracize people like yourself
Yeah.
that have a more, I don't know what the right word would be, rustic appeal,
Yeah.
versus when we moved to Alabama, I'm the one that then for being Hispanic has that problem.
Yeah.
So with our marriage, what is good for me
Isn't always good for you.
and vice versa. Like in Alabama, you didn't really experience a lot of the bullying
Mhm.
because of the weight.
Yeah.
In Alabama, they accept overweight,
Yeah.
being lazy and being overweight in Alabama,
Yeah.
or being autistic, or just having some type of like
Oh, and being autistic, I'm not saying I have it or whatever, but that doesn't mean you can't be a very successful, very smart functional person.
yeah. But have you ever noticed like in Alabama how people over there are very accommodating for disabilities?
Yeah.
And that's like one good aspect of a place like Alabama. Is that people are more like I actually believe
Mhm.
that you in a more rural setting,
Would do better.
even within Florida, like if we were in a rural small town, you would actually do better because there, like I noticed living in Alabama
Mhm.
that like people with disabilities in rural settings,
Yeah.
they're not as judgmental. But like in urban, we live in a yuppie rich area, and here people are very prejudiced
Yeah.
and very judgmental about somebody with your type of situation.
Yeah. It's too pretty. It's too fancy. It's
It's judgmental.
Yeah.
People, and we know this. People here are absolutely judgmental. Where
Yeah.
when we were in Alabama, like you used to tell me how much more comfortable you felt.
I actually, I felt so much more comfortable even going into a store and the respect that I would get. And I kind of noticed that the more rural the place, the more little of.
Basically, rural
Yeah.
communities
Mhm.
are more accepting of obesity, autism,
Yep.
Down syndrome, because I guess there's more. Unfortunately, I think with Alabama, and I know if you're hearing this, you might think it's a joke, but it's not. There really is a lot of inbreeding in Alabama.
Yeah.
There really is a lot of people who smoke during pregnancy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they have. It's more normal in Alabama for people to have a family member who's morbidly obese, have a family member who's autistic or has some type of mental disability.
Mhm.
So for them, it's more normal
Yeah.
to have family that has disabilities. Where here, if somebody they don't even have families. Like
Yeah.
I literally Uber driving got to meet a lot of the people that live down here,
Mhm.
and I like the tourists were great. The tourists from the Midwest and other places, but the local people that live here, I tell you, I cannot relate to these people. Like when I was Uber driving, I literally had passengers that would sit down and not even want to greet you.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a millennial yuppie vibe in Sarasota, which we're young and we enjoy it, but it's not how you perceive them.
Yeah.
It's how they perceive you. And I think that locally here, the type of buyers and people that are moving here are not the type of people like that you are actually going to run into wanting to want to support you.
Yeah.
It's a rich, and it's weird because like in Fort Myers, for example, in Naples,
Mhm.
it's more expensive down there, but there is a like Lehigh's all affordable, Cape Coral's all middle class. Here, there really isn't much of a middle class. Everybody's kind
Yeah.
of, at least on the home buyer side, is more affluent. Not like wealthy, but just I don't even know how to explain. It's not the type of person that will use you as a realtor. And I feel like that's going to be a problem. Now, if you were working with out-of-state buyers, you would have done great. But what's
Yeah.
happened with out-of-state buyers in the last 6 months?
They're going away.
What's going on with out-of-state buyers? Bring it on.
People are not wanting to move right now. One, people don't necessarily want to move in an election year.
They don't know what's going to happen.
They don't know what's going to happen. People speculate and whatnot, and they hold off buying until the election. Interest rates are higher.
Florida's reputation has really
Yeah,
gone to crap.
the insurance rates are like going through the roof right now. Just a few little things that people are afraid of the hurricanes and whatnot. We're going into hurricane season. So, there's a lot of things going around right now with the out-of-state buyers that are not exactly...
I mean, like, I got people from, like, Iowa and Minnesota and Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And when during the Uber driving, right? And they like, the Midwesterners, they like to talk. When I tell them what I pay for rent and what jobs pay around here, they don't believe how
They
bad
don't believe it, yeah.
And I think a lot of the New York and Connecticut's, there was a wave of them after COVID.
Yeah.
And what are the New Yorks and Connecticut's doing now?
A lot of them are leaving
Why?
because they don't like what's going on here.
They can't find jobs.
They can't find acceptable work, and they think that people pay too little around here versus what is occurring.
Who has been telling them that before they moved here?
Jose. And I
I
know
feel like
too.
a lot of those, I feel like a lot of the New Yorkers and Connecticut's are kind of ticked off at me because I pretty much depicted their demise before it even happened.
Yep.
A lot of the New Yorkers and Connecticut's that are leaving now, and there's a bunch of them leaving now, they're hurt because I told them they weren't going to find jobs.
The thing about Florida is designed for people who have already made it.
It's a retirement
They've made
state.
their money. They've made their money. They're just living out their last days. That's what it's designed for. And for tourism.
Yeah.
It's designed for you to visit and for the elderly to come here and spend their last days.
Yeah. Florida is not designed for these people in their 40s and 50s who want to make $100,000 a year and sit there on a beach chair all day. That's not realistic.
No,
and a lot of the Connecticut's and New York's, they're leaving now. They're leaving because they're figuring out that what they were hoping they were going to accomplish in Florida, they haven't been able to accomplish it. And they're kind of hurt at me because all the YouTubers are repeating it. All these YouTubers now are repeating what we were saying, but we were telling them, hey, you're not going to find jobs in Florida that make $100,000.
Look at videos 3-4 years ago.
Of
We've
me
been
warning
saying it.
people.
Yeah. We've been saying this for years, but you didn't listen.
Yeah. So now the New York and Connecticut's are going back, and they're kind of ticked at my channel because all along, everything that I was telling them was right. The homeless situation in Florida is becoming a serious problem for them.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's the insurance rates. Even like now, you have a lot of buyers that are leaving Miami, Fort Lauderdale, like southern tip of Florida. The insurance rates have got so bad that people are now leaving South Florida at an incredible rate. I think you had maybe 4 or 5 people that reached out to you who they went from paying like $200 to nearly 1,000 in HOA fees overnight.
Yeah.
And not to get into details about your customers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna discuss anything about any
No, I got you,
past,
but that's
whatever.
a real thing. That's a real thing happening now.
Yes.
It's a real thing happening where people in South Florida, like the hurricane counties, let's call them, their insurance rates are going from 200 to 800, or from 300 to 1,000 a month. And now those people are looking at Ocala, North Florida, that's more affordable, and Sarasota is in a weird spot because it's not a hurricane county, but it's also not a leaving hurricane county's place to go to.
We'll see how the chips fall in the next few months with that. Because every year you have a potential for a storm. It has been unseasonably warm lately, so we'll
Everybody's
see.
speculating there's gonna be a lot of hurricanes, but who the crap knows?
Who knows? You could have a hot year and nothing happen.
Right. But Sarasota is in a weird spot because the shift now is from hurricane counties to non-hurricane counties in North Florida, and Sarasota doesn't fall in anywhere near that. It's neither one. So you're kind of missing the wave right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people from South Florida are moving to like North Central Florida,
Yeah.
looking for affordability. But we have been talking about when you make that move, there's a lot you lose out on.
Yeah.
What can you say about that? I know it's been over an hour, so we can wrap this interview up real quick.
You miss out on the things that you liked.
The only reason to be in Florida is,
The beach
and in Ocala,
is nowhere near a beach. Your closest beach is probably Clearwater or that honeymoon island, and it'll take you a while to get there.
yeah. So any other thoughts before we wrap up today's video about, you not being a realtor right now? If somebody does want to buy real estate in Florida, they can still reach out to us because we
No realtors.
and those realtors can give us a reference fee.
Yeah.
And
I know a great realtor I will put you in touch with, and you can talk to them.
yeah. I'm really disappointed at the audience because I just took it for granted that they would support you
Mm-hmm.
because they're the ones that convinced us. So for me, I feel kind of hurt by the fact that they're the ones that led us to believe that you should do this. I put my money behind it,
Mm-hmm.
and then nobody supports you. And in a time where we needed it, like we're not gonna go out there and dish out all our private struggles on the internet.
No.
But we really needed that support, and I feel like the audience did fail us because we weren't directly saying, okay, we're going through this or that. But
Yeah.
I feel like they should have known, and a lot of them are just scummy. They really did watch your videos,
Mm-hmm.
but then pick another realtor because
Yeah.
the other realtor has high heels. But they use your videos for the information.
Yeah.
And we make these videos to help people, but suddenly the people actually help us back, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, you don't really, let's be honest, you don't actually enjoy being a realtor.
I don't enjoy the making of the videos. I enjoy actually working one-on-one with the client. I enjoy helping them search, with the MLS and whatnot. But
I think
some of
when I saw you working with customers,
yeah,
I thought you were very professional.
yeah. I actually liked working one-on-one with the customers. I liked helping them and whatnot. It was just, I didn't like some of the back and forth. The ones that are not looking to actually buy real estate, but they want to waste your time. And you could tell that right or they're not. You have
They're
to.
not being realistic about
they're-
taking a
Yep.
So what I found crazy about watching you work with customers is I actually thought, and I've seen a lot of realtors dealt with realtors,
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought you were an incredible realtor. When I saw you working with customers showing houses, I was like, wow, it blew my mind how good you were at that. And you handle our taxes,
Yeah.
you handle all the paperwork, all the accounts for us. And being a realtor is more of an academic thing,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't like the real estate. I like talking to people and showing houses
Yeah.
and that. And
I actually like the academic side.
which is possibly the most important aspect of a real estate transaction is the academic side of the situation. Something that where that's where that little bimbo blonde hair BMW girl is really gonna not have what it takes. You have to be very careful of contracts. I mean, how many revisions have we had to do on contracts for our purchases?
Sometimes as much as 15 or more.
Yeah.
You know, there's been revision after revision. I remember this last one. I don't think we had a revision.
Alabama one?
No, the lot.
Jill?
Yeah.
She was a great realtor.
Yeah, we didn't even have revisions.
Yeah.
It went
Jill
so smooth.
like I said, Jill was the smoothest realtor we ever used. No high heels, no bimbo, just probably not redneck, but like just a normal American person.
Yeah.
And she did freaking incredible as a realtor. And it's funny because when we have used that BMW.
And I'll say this, that Alabama one, the revisions were hilarious.
The first one, on the way in or the way out?
The way out.
Oh yeah, I mean you can make a life story. Brief. Are you tired? Because this is gonna learn me.
I am tired, but I'll keep talking.
Okay, go ahead. Run through some of the things you went through with that real estate.
Like, there was just hilariousness, like they were arguing about commissions, and you know, it got into this craziness. Like, I would receive notification at the end of it, where you knew it was gonna go through.
15 revisions.
15 revisions in an hour. We'd get we were just like, should I even sign this one?
They were playing games with us.
Yeah, we were laughing our heads off though.
They were playing games with us.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing games.
Yeah.
And that was the worst real estate transaction we ever went through. Was that blonde-haired bimbo. Yeah. And I'll tell you, the best real estate transactions we've ever had
were in Florida.
Were the rednecks, to be honest.
Yeah.
The redneck we bought from, he did steer us, but it was for our benefit.
Yeah,
I don't think it was malintentioned.
No, the house was just too high on our budget with what we would have ended up with and whatnot. I feel like the house that we did get in Alabama was perfect for us.
He told us something we didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
And it was, Alabama is segregated, you can't move into a black neighborhood, basically.
Yeah.
And we were just shocked by this, and it violated the rules, but he was looking out for your interests.
Yeah.
So, do we have any revisions with him? None. Issues?
None.
That realtor made that, and actually, we were the bad buyers. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We made his job so much more difficult than it had to be because we're, after all, yuppies from South Florida.
Yeah.
Dealing with a realtor from a redneck from Alabama, so we were problematic buyers, let's be honest. Probably.
Yeah.
We weren't easy, yet he always kept his composure.
Yeah.
And he always kept his composure.
Yeah.
And I think he did a great job.
Yeah.
We were the problem. Like, I remember at one point, after we signed the contract, I was trying to get him to drop the price another $5,000.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, that's not going to happen. And we were probably the problematic people.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, a lot of times people think that a realtor needs to be judged by their appearances.
It shouldn't. I mean, that's the last thing you should be looking for with a realtor, but people look more for appearance than anything else.
Yeah. And what should buyers look for in the realtors?
What they've actually done.
Yeah. And it's difficult when you're a new realtor because you really haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But then again, you are a new realtor, but you sold a house in Naples that Nancy Brown couldn't sell.
Yes.
And I always took that as, wow, I remember back then I was like, wow, you sold this house.
I was the one who read the contracts. I was the one who...
You sold it.
Yeah.
You sold a house that Nancy Brown couldn't sell. I mean, that was like, wow.
I wasn't writing it, but I was reviewing and reading everything and pointing. With all of our transactions, I've been the one to read everything and then tell you.
Every house we've ever bought, or land and investment we've ever bought, I've literally been absent from anything other than signing here.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, you've handled all of our transactions, and you've never really made a mistake in any of our transactions.
Nope.
Our realtors have been horrible. Some
I've
of them.
pointed things out and told you, and then you're like, oh, well, don't make a thing. I was like, you gotta tell it. We gotta talk about this. We gotta do that. And, you know,
So
Yeah.
anyway, real estate right now in Florida is not.
Mhm.
Florida's dropping. It's not booming. And when you're working with only the potential of a buyer from out of state, there really
yeah.
aren't. Who the crap is moving here to Sarasota right now? It's
No one's probably wanting to move to Florida right now.
yeah, and at least not this part
At-
of Florida.
At least not this part of Florida, and not at this exact moment. Right now we're in summer, and the people who want to move down here from
Aren't
other
doing it in
places
summer.
are definitely not doing it in the summer because one, it's way too hot, and it's hot up there, so they're not going to want to deal with more hot than they're already dealing with.
Yeah.
So as soon as it gets cold, the first snow usually, then you start getting more out-of-state buyers.
Yeah. So there's still the potential for you to renew your real estate license in the
Yeah.
future.
I might continue doing this. It doesn't mean renew, it just means pay my MLS.
Probably with a different broker.
Yeah,
They haven't been respectful. I
Yeah.
don't think they've been respectful.
I'm not-
When they were calling you asking for money, it really felt like you were being,
yeah,
you weren't really being treated with
Yeah.
respect.
yeah,
Yeah. So, search for a new broker, and if you have to just walk away from it, so be it.
yeah. You know, I feel like us having a real estate license here in Florida, it keeps us in Florida, and I don't feel like with the YouTube channel of how it's been within the last few years of us doing this. The point was to move to different areas and experience that and show that experience,
Not to move back to where we're from.
not to move back to where we're from and keep doing this. I feel like I'm ready for another adventure and want to do something probably somewhere with a little bit colder of a climate, because that is going to be better for my health.
Yeah, in Alabama, your health improved some considerably.
Yeah, to the point.
I lost 30 pounds in Alabama.
Yeah, I figured out in Alabama how to
We get fat down here.
Yeah. We get fat, and you know, I have lost weight, but when it's colder, I do better, and I will lose.
It's easier to lose weight in colder weather.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's weird how, like, also we've thought that if we move to Fort Myers, you could probably get customers down there
Yeah.
easier than Sarasota.
But I don't want to live that over again. I'm done with
We're
that
done with Fort
chapter.
Myers and Naples. Screw
You
them.
know, I don't want to live there anymore. I don't mind going back to visit like our family members, but I lived that all the last 20 years, and I'm just done.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not doing. I mean, like we've talked about. Okay, if we move to Fort Myers,
Mhm.
you would probably have more buyers in Fort Myers and Naples.
Yes.
We don't want to live there.
I don't want to live there. I'm done. I went to high school there. I went to middle school in Naples. I spent all of my adulthood pretty much in Naples. I'm done. I'm out. I want something different. I want something fresh. I did the Alabama thing, didn't work out. Here, whatever. I'll do something else. I mean, I want to keep continuing to grow this YouTube channel and really give it my all and not give it half of what I need to be giving it because of a license or anything else. I want to give this YouTube channel my full attention and my full capabilities.
Yeah, that's where the money's really at for us.
Yeah.
All right, so that's today's video. Katie on no longer being a realtor and some of the reasons why. I thought this video was going to be more in depth on other things, but that's really where we're at.
Mhm.
Katie could have possibly tried harder, but even then, it didn't seem like it's a promising time to be a realtor.
No.
Checking out.
Mhm.